Good afternoon. Welcome to our community forum, Facebook Live, 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me a second as I welcome our Spanish speaking residents. Gracias por estar con nosotros hoy, jueves 16 de abril, para las 3 p.m. con SOC. Ustedes que quieren acceso al programa en español, por favor marcan el número 425-436-6200. Cuando contestan la llamada, por favor compartan el clave o el contraseña que empieza con el número 6, 627, 682. Thank you for being with us this Thursday, the 16th of April, 2020, for our online community forum here on Facebook Live. We got a lot to share with you in case you haven't heard some things happening. And I'm glad that we're able to be with you today and do so. Today will be our regularly planned community forum. Tomorrow we will have another special edition of the forum, and I'll talk a little more about that in just a little bit. My name is Tammy Rivera. I'm the Executive Director and Lead Organizer for Southside Organizing Center. Our community forums are a way for us to continue building relationships with our fellow neighbors here on the near South Side. We regularly met with you at your doors, at our events, at other events, at major traffic locations, high traffic places where you congregate, stores and fairs and etc. Now that we can't do that, at least for now, we're looking forward to when we can. We have moved our community forums, which is a long-standing tradition here at SOC, from in-person to live. So we're very grateful that you can be here with us. Since the coronavirus Safer at Home order started, SOC hasn't missed a beat. It looks like I lost an earring here. SOC hasn't missed a beat. All of our staff, including our youth organizers, have been working virtually and are still here for you. As a matter of fact, Clarissa, who is on the phones, shared with me today how many phone calls we received on Monday. So we're glad that you all know we're still here for you, and that you're calling to get the information and resources that you need during this time. You can reach us as you normally would at our phone number 414-672-8090, 414-672-8090. You can reach us via email at soc@socmilwaukee.org. And also, we have updated our website to have you stay connected to the top critical issues of the day. So if you go to our website at www.socmilwaukee.org, you will see the latest information on the coronavirus, the latest information on census, the latest information on key initiatives that we are participating in. And there is on that landing page, the home page, badge that says coronavirus. If you click on that, you'll go to our centralized web page for information, resources, and actions that you can take during this time. There's a wealth of information there. You are very well aware of, as we are, that there's so much information being shared, and it's changing rapidly regarding things that were affected by coronavirus, and it's too much information. So we attempt to organize that for you in different categories to help you navigate the resources you need. If you go on that page, there'll be a whole section and updates from every level of government, public services, um, places where you can get basic needs like food, places where you can get tested for the coronavirus or get free health care, um, where to go for you adult workers, how to apply for unemployment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a whole section on taking action, things you can do to help your fellow neighbors, things you can do to change, um, to let your elected officials know how you would like these issues handled or things that are missing. There's petitions, there's legislation taking place. So we ask you to visit that website for all your needs. Um, before we start the rest of the show, I want to share a disclaimer with you that the views and opinions shared today on the forum don't necessarily um, aren't necessarily those that reflect um, SOX. So keep that in mind that we're sharing information and having guests um, and having people speak about their own experiences. And so we just want to make sure that we're providing the platform for that and elevating voice. And we don't necessarily always hold the same views, or we can't necessarily speak as the type of nonprofit that we are on in the way some other folks can express themselves. So just know that. Right at the top of the hour, I'd like to share with you an opportunity for you all to be entered into a drawing for a $25 gift certificate. So throughout the program, right now and throughout the program, if you like this Facebook Live, if you share it, if you share a comment or a question in the comment section, including any questions you have about any of the topics that we're discussing or things outside of that that we can be helpful in finding the answer. You can share um, a photo or other evidence that you voted and you can be entered. You can share a screenshot or a selfie of you um, filling out the census. You can make suggestions about a segment in our show that we're calling Viewer's Choice, Resident Choice, on a different topic that we don't cover that you would like to see. So all those ways can get you in to the drawing. And most importantly, we want you to fill out the survey. We have a survey daily, and I said this because we just launched these online forums for the last week and a half. We would like to know what what information or segments are we sharing that you find very helpful, and things you think are not necessary or that we should change or we should add. There's only 3 or 4 questions. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. It enters you into the drawing, but most importantly, it helps us together create an online form that meets the majority of people's needs on the near south side. All right, top of the hour, breaking news in case you haven't heard. The governor has extended the safer at home order to May 26th. Many of us had anticipated that would happen. And so let me just share the press release with you, his statement about that safer at home order being extended. Governor Tony Evers today directed the Wisconsin Department of Health Services Secretary Designee Andrea Palm to extend the safer at home order from April 24th, which was the day it was first supposed to end, to 8 a.m. Tuesday, May 26th, to support the progress that we've made containing COVID-19, but also allow certain activities to start up again. This order will be on our website as well today, and you can get it in detail. So let me continue reading this so that you have the information in case you don't have it handy. A few weeks ago, we had a pretty grim outlook for what COVID-19 could mean for our state. But because of the efforts of all of you, Safer at Home is working. That said, we aren't out of the woods yet, said Governor Evers. As I've said all along, we're going to rely on the science and public health experts to guide us through this challenge. So as we extend Safer at Home, I need all of you to continue doing the good work you've been doing so we can keep our families, our neighbors, and our community safe and get through the storm together. This is all from his press release issued today. Before we live safer at home, the steps of testing and more robust public health measures must be in place, explained Secretary Designee Palm. These steps will help us reduce the risk of a second wave of the virus. If we open up too soon, we risk overwhelming our hospitals and requiring more drastic physical distancing measures again. The extension of the safer home order includes a few changes. So pay attention now, it's a little different than the first one. Some changes allow more businesses and activities to open back up, while other changes help make businesses safer for employees and customers. The changes in this order include, so now you'll get some of the details. Businesses and activities ramping up for service operations. Public libraries may now provide curbside pickup of books and other library materials. Golf courses. Golf courses may open again with restrictions, including scheduling and paying for tee times online or by phone only. Clubhouses and pro shops must remain closed. Non-essential businesses will now be able to do more things as minimum basic operations, including deliveries, mailings, and curbside pickup. Non-essential businesses must notify workers of whether they are necessary for the minimum basic operations. What does that mean? Maybe some of you will be called back to work if you are part of the team that would be considered minimum basic operation. Arts and craft stores. Arts and craft stores may offer expanded curbside pickup of materials necessary to make face masks or other personal protective equipment. Aesthetic or optional exterior work. As exterior aesthetic or optional exterior lawn care or construction is now allowed under the extended order, so long as it can be done by one person. We got a little bit more here, and then you'll have heard all the latest news. Safe business practices for essential businesses and operations. Essential business and operations must increase cleaning and disinfecting practices, ensure that only necessary workers are present, and adopt policies to prevent workers exposed to COVID-19 or symptomatic workers from coming to work. Safe business practices for retailers that essential business and operations. I'm reading to you as it is, so there's a couple of typos here. Retail stores that remain open to the public as essential business and operations must limit the number of people in the store at one time, must provide for proper spacing for people waiting to enter, and large stores must offer at least 2 hours per week of dedicated shopping time for vulnerable populations. Supply chain. Essential businesses and operations that are essential because they supply, manufacture, or distribute goods and services to other essential businesses and operations can only continue operations that are necessary to those businesses they supply. All other operations continue as minimum basic operations. A couple of other key changes include public and private K-12 schools will remain closed for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. Again, I'm going to repeat that so you don't miss it. Public and private K-12 schools will remain closed for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. Hopefully sometime soon we can get the superintendent or someone from his office here for our Milwaukee Public Schools to share their plan of how students are going to finish out the year. Local parks and open spaces. Local health officials may close public parks and open spaces if it becomes too difficult to ensure distancing or the areas are being mistreated. Let me say that again because I didn't give emphasis in the right area. Local health officials may close public parks parks, and open spaces. If it becomes too difficult to ensure social distancing or the areas are being mistreated, what that tells me is that you all who are using the parks and other public spaces like the lakefront are going to have to ensure that you keep the safer at home order guidelines there of staying 6 feet apart. Otherwise, you're not going to have those venues available. So let's cooperate so that you still have those options available. Travel. People are strongly encouraged to stay at home, not travel to second homes or cabins, and not to travel out of state if it isn't necessary. Tribal nations. Tribal nations are sovereign over their territory and can impose their own restrictions. Non-tribal members should be respectful of and avoid non-essential travel to tribal territory. Local government must coordinate, collaborate, and share information with tribal nations. Duration. The changes in this order go into effect on April 24th. The announcement is being made today on the 16th, but all of this that I just shared with you goes into effect on April 24th. The order will remain in effect until 8 a.m. on May 26, 2020. The public should continue to follow simple steps to avoid exposure to the virus and prevent illness, including these last couple of sentences here. I want to remind you, avoiding social gathering with people of all ages, including play dates, sleepovers, parties, large family dinners, visitors in your home, non-essential workers in your house. Frequent and thorough hand washing with soap and water, covering coughs and sneezes, avoiding touching the face, and staying home. They will keep us informed, and you can contact the governor's office if you have any questions. And again, I wanted to share with you, this will be available on our website today before the end of the day as well. Before we start our next section here, I want to thank those of you who have joined us, and remind folks, if they want to listen in Spanish, they can do so by marking the number on the screen and sharing that code there. I'm going to say that in Spanish for our Spanish speakers. Para ustedes que están juntándose con nosotros ahora, llegaron ahora, pueden oír el programa de hoy en el número que aparece en la pantalla. Cuando contestan la llamada, tienen que compartir el clave o el contraseña que aparece ahí empezando con el número 6. How about some hellos to you all who are here with us hearing the latest? Hola, Marcia. Hola, Sarah. Hola, Jeanette. Miranda as well. Thank you for being with us. Just a few hellos. I'll get to the rest of you later. The next part of our show or our forum is continuing. We're not over it yet, and we're not going to be over it until we ensure that our democracy is intact and our right to vote is protected. So we are going to continue exploring and responding to our special edition topic, which is the why to Tuesday's election. The systems, processes, people which held the election despite the risk to the coronavirus and the safer at home order and all the issues related to that. If you've been with us since the election, we have been collecting critical questions, concerns, and comments shared by our residents. They're contained in a document that's in English and Spanish on our webpage as well. Questions about what happens with the folks who requested the absentee ballots to vote, didn't get them on time, or got them after the election. And we've had several of you share evidence of receiving yours or of receiving yours after. Please keep all those post-marked envelopes. We are getting them to a coalition of folks that we're working with to gather all that information. Please let us know if you ordered an absentee ballot, didn't receive it at all, or if you had any problems voting. We're gonna, right now, our youth organizers and our adult phone organizers are calling neighbors in our district to ask them how was their election experience. So please, we're using Google numbers to protect people's personal cell phone numbers, so it's not going to appear as SOC. But we have several folks, adults and youth, calling you to say, check up on you and see how you're doing on the coronavirus, remind you that we have a web page, but also asking you, how did it go on Tuesday's election? Did you feel safe enough to vote or you didn't? If you tried the vote, did you have any problems not understanding the poll place, or not being able to wait in line, or you waited for hours, or you waited at the wrong poll location because it was confusing and weren't allowed to vote? Any of your stories we're collecting. Why? We want to be able to answer all your questions, get your issues resolved, and more importantly, move forward as a community together, ensuring everybody has a right to vote. We're especially concerned about people of color, low income, the elderly, the community of persons with disabilities, and any other folks who had struggles, didn't have transportation. The bus was restricted now because of coronavirus. The only way we're going to ensure people vote is if we collect that and work together to change that. Um, so, what I'd like to share with you now in regards to our special edition topic, yesterday we shared that Alderwoman-elect Marina Dmitrijevic, um, as her, I think, first action as an incoming elected official at the Common Council, has proposed a safe vote piece of legislation, which would have us locally get our absentee ballots app- applications in the mail with a postage paid stamp that we could send in to get our absentee ballots. And that's what she's proposing to everyone in our area in Milwaukee. And also came out yesterday, later than we were able to share with you, is Alderwoman Coggs also has a press release. She has requested of this, and I'm reading off the press release, her information. She has requested the city inspector general to investigate the city election commission's, excuse me, today I'm doing most of the show, so I apologize to you for having to take some water, but that's going to happen because I'm doing all the talking today. Um, Also, I apologize because people have been telling me that I speak quickly, which is a trait of, I think, just my personality, but also me being Puerto Rican. And so bear with me. People are trying to help me, remind me to slow down a little bit. And I have to be mindful of that because we have simultaneous translations, interpretation happening right now. Miranda on a phone conference call with our constituents who are Spanish speaking is translating all I'm saying simultaneously so people can watch the Facebook Live and hear it in Spanish. So Alderwoman Coggs has asked the City Inspector General to investigate what happened with the absentee ballot process during this primary election. She's the chair of the Finance and Personnel Committee at the Common Council. She requested that be ordered by the city clerk on the 11th of April. And she asked for that because of all the concerns around what I just shared earlier. And I'll read a piece of her press release for you. Thousands of absentee ballots that were requested by residents either never arrived in the mail or arrived too late to be properly turned in and counted. And so city officials here, she says, have asked the U.S. Postal Service to investigate that and seek answers to why so many were not delivered. Last week, there were reported ballots or loads of ballots, piles of ballots reported at some post office. We don't know if that's true or not, but that was some of the reporting. And so the inspector general here says, according to the inspector general, they will examine the election commission administration and process prescribed by the commission itself and any other applicable rules and regulations. Um, so we're going to keep you abreast to what's happening here because, as she says, we need to strengthen our absentee voting process for residents and make sure we do not have a repeat of the same issue this fall. And so that's the latest on when we're asking all these questions about why and what's next, that we know those two pieces at the city have moved forward. What I'd like to do now is I am managing, reminding you that I'm just managing several communications coming in as we do the forum, and it's just me at home because I'm safer at home, cooperating with the order here in what is actually my fireplace room. That's where I am, just like many of you. The next segment of our show is an update about the coronavirus itself. So this is the regularly scheduled part of the forum. I shared the governor's order, the things that are having with the things that are happening with the election and voting. But also we want to make sure that you're hearing about the information, resources, and actions that are available to you during this time. And you heard me mention earlier that we have this website. Well, one of the sections on the website is about food. And so there are more than a half a dozen um, links there that you can go to access food and food resources. One is called Milwaukee Food Resources. The other is a listing of those MPS meals and locations available, the schedule of the mobile markets, link to the Hunger Task Force, link to Wisconsin Food Share, and another link to food and basic needs. But some positive news regarding food and food access that I thought was so cool from the Hunger Task Force. And I have a special affinity for them. I got my first um, community organizing job with the Hunger Task Force, or like to say my first organizing gig with them. It was in the mid 1980s. Welfare reform had arrived to Milwaukee, and the Hunger Task Force had a long tradition of ensuring folks had food. They were responsible highly for the quality of food that we have. Um, with school lunches, breakfasts and lunches, and doing advocacy around food resources. And so one of the things we saw today, and that will be on our website shortly as well, is that they're partnering with the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and the Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection to recover and distribute Wisconsin milk statewide. So imagine all those farmers who are in a situation now who had previously were told to dump the milk because the demand had plummeted so greatly. And so now the Hunger Task Force is committed to buying $1 million back in dairy farmer supply to help the farmers and help residents get it. And they're going to distribute that milk to free and local food pantries, food banks, and food pantries through Hunger Relief Federation of Wisconsin. And this is a statewide association that supports food distribution in local communities. And so incredible. Thank you, Sherry Tussler and the team at Hunger Task Force for making this happen. Thank you, farmers, for partnering and being creative about meeting your needs and meeting your neighbors, the Wisconsinites needs as well. Really, really cool stuff. And we're gonna try to bring all different kinds of resources to you so you can hear how to get help. Right now, what we'd like to do is the next segment of the program is what's turning out to be your favorite segments of the program, which are to see and hear from our staff who I'm sure you're missing, and they're missing you as well. And so I'm going to be bringing on Claudia back on. She was here earlier in the week or last week. Clarissa Morales is our community organizer. She's one of the three on the team. She has the district that is on the southern border of Sox district. Our district is like from First Street in the lakefront to Miller Parkway, and from the Menominee Valley to Oklahoma Avenue. That's Sox district, and she has that whole southern border. So we can get Claudia on the show with us now. We will talk to her about bilingual services. Claudia's role is she's an organizer for that district. She also runs our bilingual services. She also runs our public resources, housing, landlord tenants, all things that the municipal government provides. She she helps manage that for SOC. It looks like we're not having her on quite yet. I'll ask and check and see if folks can get her on. So maybe Edith or John, Edith, she's our forum coordinator, can get Claudia to be on. In the meantime, I'll talk a little more about her role. As I said, she's an organizer. She does our bilingual services and our public resources. And then she also, every staff, so you know, has a combination of roles. Everybody on staff is an organizer, gets trained as an organizer. Doesn't matter what you do, because that's the core of what we do. And everything we do, we want that to shine through. That's basic. Doesn't, if you're in communications, if you're in IT, if everybody's trained to be an organizer. And then everyone has, all the organizers who do it full time have an area that they're responsible for. And right now we have 3 areas on the south side. What is the southern border, east to west, which I said shared is Claudia. And then we have the eastern northeast corner, which is First Street to about 16th, Beecher to National, and then the west portion, which is 16th to Miller Parkway, the Valley to Beecher. Those are our 3 areas. And then everyone has an infrastructure need. Everybody shares all the loads of all things, and so Claudia is also our office manager. I'm getting a message that Claudia is having a little problem getting on. I assume that's because we have too many guests. Oh, she's here now. So if Johnny can bring her on, she'll be able to share our bilingual services. Hi, Claudia. I was so glad to see you that you're able to get on for today. So I was just sharing your role and what all the organizers do in the staff, and that today you're with us talking about our bilingual services. So please share what components are available on our bilingual services, how people can connect to request them, and to especially share our newest news on our new feature offering bilingual services virtually.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited that one, we have new equipment that we are able to simultaneously transmit to our residents in 4 different languages. This is really good news for SOC and for the residents because, as you all know, the South Side is very diverse in its population. So we're excited to be able to do that. We also do translation of documents. We have formal translators, and we also have informal translators to be able to do translation and interpretation of documents, and also now for online services, since we're all confined to our homes, we can do simultaneous translations for events online. You can go to the SOC website at SOC Milwaukee, SOC at SOCmilwaukee.org, or you can call us at 414-672-8090. I am answering the phones right now while we're in this transition stage. And we're just really excited to be able to offer all these opportunities for our residents. You have any questions or concerns? Again, you can go on our website. You can contact us through SOC, and you can even contact us through our Facebook page.
Share with us what type of events have we provided and for who in the past. So people get a sense of, from the very small organization that requested to the very large. Give us some examples of some of the things we've provided, either equipment, interpreters, or translations for.
Sure. We've provided interpretation for the Fire and Police Commission. Is one of our larger venues. We provide interpretation, of course, for all SOC forums. Our resident groups are able to use our equipment to transmit during their resident group meetings as well. It's been Wisconsin Legal Blanks has used us to do interpretation of documents that are for the courts. So we've had such a large variety of interpretations, and no interpretation is too small for us. We are able to continue to keep doing these services and offering these services. Of course, the pricing will vary depending on the event and the amount of equipment you need, but give us a call. We're willing to do this.
I know that in the past we have translated events. We have translated documents for the city of Milwaukee. We have done interpretations, if I remember correctly, for Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, for some schools, for some of the universities, for other community organizations. And so we welcome folks. And then tell us the difference, Claudia, between formal interpretation and translation and informal.
Sure. Our formal interpreters and translators are certified individuals that did the proper schooling to be considered a certified individual. We also have a lot of informal that are really good Spanish speakers and translators, because these are the languages they have spoken all their lives. Yeah. And it's just a really great opportunity. And we're also always looking to bring on more interpreters and more translators. We can never have enough. So if anybody's interested, you can hit up the SOC pages, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our phone number and our email.
And we're also looking to expand the languages that we provide.
Absolutely.
So if there are certified translators in other languages that would like to be considered on our roster of contracted interpreters, translators, please do so. So folks can contact us, as Claudia said, and then fees depend on what type of business you are and what relationship you have with SOC. Sometimes people only rent out the equipment, right, Claudia? And like you said, there are 4 radios available with 60 headsets. So correct. That means you can have an event translating up to 4 languages, up to 60 different people.
Correct.
It's
huge. And this equipment is so easy to use. Our translators that have used it, our interpreters that have used it, we're like, hallelujah, this stuff is so light, they can walk around, and it just makes it such an easier process for everybody. The clarity is top notch. So I'm really excited. I get excited when we can buy new things and share them with the community.
Yeah, we made a major investment last year to upgrade our equipment to facilitate different languages, having access to information in the community. And so if you make those requests of Claudia, what happens is you put in an application, she'll call you, confirm, you sign an agreement, and then we can work out the details. So please do take advantage of this program. It's something we offer the community to help, but also brings in some extra revenues to help us continue to do the work that we do. Thank you, Claudia, for doing all that you do.
Stay safe, everyone.
We're always glad to share the staff with you, and we know that, again, they miss you, you miss them, and so anytime we can help bring them to you, we will. Right now, we'd like to share a video from our communications manager or bring her on to share a message.
Hi, I'm Marisol, Communications and Digital Manager here at SAC. Thanks for tuning in to our live community forum. During our live forums, we have a daily $25 gift certificate drawing to a local restaurant or small business. Ways to enter are: share this live video, like this video, leave a comment or question, suggest a topic for us to discuss, or fill out the survey located in the comment section. As a bonus entry, if you have any voting or census pictures, or take a screenshot of you visiting our website, you can enter that way as well. Thanks for tuning in and stay safe. Now let's find out who's won yesterday's raffle.
Thank you, Marisol, for sharing that information again. We encourage you all to do all those things she said. I'm going to say a couple of hellos again. Mari Cano, Lillian, thank you for joining us. Our winner from yesterday's engagement is a dear friend, my conana, Mary Carmen Villaseñor. Mari Carmen, contact us in our email to claim your $25 gift certificate. And thank you for joining us at yesterday's forum. We'd like to now share with you some thanks for those folks who make the work of SAC possible, that have us available to serve you in the community, and those folks and funders and donors who gave us the support we needed to really focus on civic engagement this year, the elections, to help you understand all the pieces of work that we do. And all of our work is nonpartisan. We don't work for a political party or do political work or for an individual elected. What we do in civic engagement is help you understand all the elements on how to vote, whether that is how to get registered, where to vote, what identification you need to take to verify where you live, how to report any problems you're having voting or attempts to stop you from voting, what's on the ballot. We help you navigate when those dates are happening. So that's our commitment to you all, to help you be able to express your vote and your rights to vote, and to be represented. And then civic engagement is not only elections. After an election, we're helping folks understand how to stay connected to those folks that you're elected and the issues that are important to you, so you can follow their work, so that they can hear from you your continued voice and be held accountable by you. What are they trying to pass in the budget? What committee do they serve on? If you're interested in safety issues, how do you follow what's happening at the city level regarding that? And then how do you express yourself when you disagree with decisions that are being made, or you want them to take action on something that no one's taking action on? So civic engagement is an 24/7, 365 experience, and we just want to make sure you understand it, that you can participate where you want, and to ensure that your voice, your vote is counted, and that you have a vehicle to organize together when you need to. And so that's what a lot of our funders committed to this year for us. And if you haven't heard yet, because of all this other commotion, this is a census year, which is critical. Critical. Why is it critical? Based on the people who get counted on the census, determines our representation in government, and the portion of federal funds, the taxes we pay, how much come back to this community for schools, for roads, for basic needs. So if we don't get counted, it affects us for the next 10 years. It's estimated anywhere between $1,600 and $1,800 a year is lost for every person that is not voted. Now, multiply that by 10 years, it makes a huge impact. Or you can think about it this way: if you didn't count that baby that's in your house, for the next 10 years, there aren't school funds um, anticipated for that child. So then everyone suffers, right? Because there's not enough money for educating our kids. And so we really urge you to be counted. We can support you in doing that. It only takes a few minutes online. Almost all of our staff and board have done it, and it makes an impact for the next 10 years. So please participate in that. And we'll have more efforts around that. We were focusing on the spring election because it was so many changes, and then on the coronavirus. But we'll have much more with you on the census, how-to videos, and all kinds of resources. So we want to thank all those people that are making that possible. And I just want to tell you, most of our funders have been in this fight with you. They've let us know, listen, if you have to change some of them, if you have to change your plans so you can help people get through coronavirus, do that and let's negotiate a new contract. Or some of them have given us a little extra money to make sure, for instance, that we can do this forum for you, because we weren't prepared to do this and there's a lot of extra costs. We have a whole coronavirus coordinator on staff, a forum coordinator on staff now, all the equipment and the software. We weren't ready for all of that. And so we're really grateful. So right now, we'd like to share a video giving thanks to all our donors.
Thank you to our sponsor, Wisconsin Boys, Community Development Block Grant, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Mudman Board Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Silver Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Thai Foundation, City of Milwaukee Promised Son, all the faithful individuals who support SAC through the personal donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That was Don Heriberto Arce, one of the seniors in our community. Earlier in the week, excuse me, earlier when we started the show, we told you we wanted to highlight one population each day that will be sharing our credits with you, because we know credits aren't necessarily the most exciting part of the forum. They're very important though, so you know who's at your side during these times. And so on Mondays, it's our Children's Day. And so we're having children in our district record the credits. If you want your child to do that, you can contact us and I'll share all our contact information as soon as I'm done listing the days. Tuesday are our youth. If I remember, yeah, it's kids, then youth. Wednesday are young adults. Thursdays are seniors, and Friday will be our resident association leaders and members. And so we'd like to tell you and show you our neighbors in all of those different populations. And if you want to participate, if you're a child, a youth, a young adult, an elderly or senior resident, or a resident association leader or member, please contact us at 414-526. Oops, I almost gave you the wrong phone number. 414-672-8090. 414-672-8090. You can email us. Here it shows on the screen. soc@socmilwaukee.org. And we'd be happy to give you the instructions to record the video and highlight you at one of our coming forums. Let me make our announcement for what's coming up in our special edition tomorrow. Tomorrow with us, very excited to announce that we have State Representative Marisabel Cabrera as our special guest. She'll be responding to our special edition topic, which is why the elections that took place, despite the risk of the coronavirus and despite the governor's safer at home order. And we look forward to next week hearing from some of our other leaders who have committed. It's just a matter of making the schedule work. And that those are Jesus Salas, one of the elders of the movement. He has been a lifelong farm worker rights legacy leader. We have also Marina Dmitrievic. We're going to try to have her on. Today wasn't possible. We're hoping to have our Carmen Cabrera, who's a legacy leader, the vice president of our board, on. And so we've invited tons of folks that we think you want to hear from at these times. And so stay tuned as we bring you our legacy leaders. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock with SOC, again for a special edition with State Representative Marisabel Cabrera. Be safe.